Happy Thanksgiving. You may ask, what are you doing, fat man? Well, dinner ain't till 1 or 2, so came out to the garage, put brakes on my truck, and I developed a leak. It's been leaking a little bit for months, and I've been putting it off, of course, as long as I can, so I try and get something done. But anyway, I finally had to break down and pull the valve out of the Ryan's head, the 2800, and here it is. So what it's doing, I'm going to find out here in about 2 seconds, but what it's doing is it's leaking in between this section. I know for sure that one is, because we could see it blowing out. And then I'm just going to re-O-ring everything. Josh is coming out hunting, Josh Eller. He's the guy who builds these things out there. He's coming out, him and his brother coming hunting at my place. So he's bringing me a seal kit for it, O-ring kit. So what this is a Dravini HPV77 is what this valve is. You can see it over there. So they've changed this on the newer heads. They've come up with a better, I think it's a Parker valve something's using now. But whatever, this thing's been pretty good. I mean, it's been pretty good unit. I haven't had a whole lot of trouble with it. The only thing, one time, you can see this, it got loose and shucked around. It bent these controls, these little settings. They're like a stroke limiter on the little thing. You can turn them manually here to see if they're working. See, they've got like a hex head on them. And you can actually turn them and make the function work. But they have these electric solenoids over here, you know, that work the valve with pilot oil. That's how it works. So all your wires come down through the head, and then you've got these, you know, they're two-way valve. So this, I can't remember which is which, but like tilt up and down, left and right, rotate, grapple open, close, and saw in and out. So it's pretty simple. It's easy to work on. That's good. I mean, it's kind of a bitch to get it out. Once you got it out, it's not too bad. So I got my through bolts loose here. This valve's probably going to fall apart. I'll start over here for a minute. So I gotta watch. I marked the sections. It's not that terribly difficult, but I did mark the sections and I took a big picture of it. So all these individual sections have O-rings. Not terribly complicated. Okay, there goes the oil. I thought I had it pretty well drained out, but you know how that works. You never get it all. So, see the O-rings between the sections? You can see right there, those are O-rings. So again, not very terribly difficult. You've got 3, you got 1 down there and 2 there. And I probably have O-rings in some of the kits I have. I've got a big fat kit, 90 durometer O-rings, but I don't know what I got exactly and if it's compatible. So I will probably just wait for Josh. He's coming tomorrow with the kit, and I'll know I got exactly the right O-rings. But each one of these sections now, come off, like the front part. This has O-rings in it. Of course, your boss fittings all have O-rings. These little tram have an O-ring in them, a little solenoid, and then you take these off and there's 2 O-rings in here. So whatever, I'll just, you know, it comes in a kit, so I just rebuild it. But even though I only had trouble on one section, I've got it out. It's kind of a bitch to get out. The worst thing is it gets packed with dirt and grit and filth, and so it took me a while to clean it up. But so I'm curious to see if the ones on the end here are the culprit, because we definitely had oil coming out of that. I know I did. Better get the speedy dry over here. So there's my sections. Here's, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right here. Here's the culprit. That O-ring looks pretty messed up. There's one there. That was the problem. Look at that little stupid O-ring right there. See that little tiny one shredded? That was it. It wasn't even the big one. These little tiny ones right here. What happens with these? What happens? Let me go get some rags. I gotta clean this oil up. Be right back. Soak up some of this oil. I think I have pig mat over there. I don't know if I got them any here or at the job, but this will soak up the bulk of it. So, yeah, you can see it right here. Look at that little bastard. Okay, so this is the main section coming in. You've got your feed coming in here in a 16 port or a 20 port, I'm not sure. And then I think they're 16 ports. You got your feed and your return, which feed the valve. Then each solenoid diverts the oil where you want it to go, and then of course it's got to come back and return. The valve does have a case drain on it. Where did that go? Which, you know, anything that builds up pressure inside the valve case has got to be able to get back to tank, so don't split the valve or blow O-rings. Try to soak this shit up. I thought I had it pretty cleaned out. You never get it all, man. This will be sufficient. I'll get some speedy dry. I'm gonna go get some of that. Take it for a walk across. So anyway, I hope everybody's gonna have a nice Thanksgiving here. I wish everyone a Thanksgiving. I've been getting a million, like I literally got about 50 well wishes on the YouTube thing there, on my phone, text thing, whatever, from a lot of YouTube guys and a lot of old buddies. And but my hands have been so filthy and greasy, I haven't been able to respond. I will do so when I get home, get cleaned up for dinner and stuff, and get out of my greasy duds. I knew I was going to get filthy, so I just threw the same clothes on I wore yesterday. Put that down, soak some of that crap up. Alright, so anyway, you can see what happens. And what happened with this in the past, this is probably the third or fourth time I've done this, but I've had the thing in service for like 7 years now. So, but what happened a couple of times, and I didn't realize till it happened like the second time what was going on. I had quick couplers on this thing. And this is something you guys want to think about. I would recommend, if you're going to use quick couplers on one of these heads, or any hydraulic thing for that matter, that's running through the brush and is vulnerable to brush. Alright, so I shut the stupid thing off with my big fat fingers. But what I was trying to get at is, with the quick couplers becoming detached, it blocks up your return oil. Now, if the positive side falls off, in other words, your pressure side, it's no big deal because everything stops. You're not pressurizing your valve, and hence your work controls, you know. But if the I keep saying ground, but it's similar to positive ground. But your negative line falls off with a quick coupler, gets detached in a brush, then it dams the oil up. The oil's got nowhere to go, so you're blowing, 2,500 pounds or 2,900 pounds into this valve, okay? And you're damming the oil up because it can't go through to return and return to tank. So it's like closing a valve, So what happens is it blows these O-rings out. So I don't think that's what happened here. I'm almost wondering, this is the little culprit. Look at that stupid little thing. See it? And it was just one of these little, you know, relief ports here, or galleys, whatever. Each one of these sections has, you know, different O-rings. There's a little poppet right there. You gotta watch that stuff because it'll fall out. But see these little O-rings? So you've got all these O-rings you gotta replace. I'm gonna replace them all now. But that was the culprit. That was the one that was blown out. These don't look actually as bad as I thought they were gonna look. But when that return plugged up on me before, it blew one of these out. It ripped this, and it was gushing oil out. So it took me a few times to figure out what was going on with that. And then once I figured it out, I took the stupid grip couplers off. And another thing too, I took that what do you call it, pin grabber and all that off because I wasn't going to use it for digging anymore. I took the work link off the cylinder. So my point being, I didn't have to remove my head very often, you know. I mean, so I thought, why even bother having quick couplers on there, and you just get a much better connection with fittings. So that's what I did. But like I said, I had to rebuild this a couple of times, my own damn dumb fault, because I popped that return line off with the stupid quick couplers, and I didn't realize you hit the button again and poof, that's all it takes, one shot. You're blocking this completely off, it can't return oil, so it blows it out. So anyway, so I'm good here. I can't go any farther till I get the parts. Like I said, Josh is coming out hunting anyway. Rifle season opens Saturday morning, so those guys are coming out. My brother and his wife are coming down. Gonna take a few days off and chill out. Maybe get us some venison. But anyway, that's about the extent. See these little holes right here? So what they do, it's probably a return or something from, I don't know, you know, from this mechanism. When it opens and closes, it's got an oil galley that lets it return. But if that is pilot oil return, then it's only at like 450 pounds, and I was getting a pretty good little, you know, mist out of it, and we could see it coming between the block. But that was the culprit right there, that little dirty bugger. Imagine that. Tear a whole machine down to fix that. But whatever, it's got to be fixed. Now, I might have damaged that when I put it together years ago. You know, who knows? I might have pinched it a little bit or something. You got to be careful doing this stuff. It's not terribly technical, but it's tedious. You got to watch what you're doing, because if you booger up your O-rings, then they're not going to seal properly. So that's probably what happened there, because the thing's always been drippy. So, but whatever. So I'll wait and get my parts, and I'll do a little vid when we go to put it back together. So anyway, wishing everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I gotta get cleaned up and try and answer some Thanksgiving things. Whatever, wishes, well wishes. But I'll keep that over here. So I'm pretty much good. I'll go home and see what I can get into. Those are your through bolts. Nuts are a little bit boogered up. I think I got some nuts that'll fit that over there in my bin. Those are lock nuts, so I might not have them. They're metric. Yeah, this valve is made in Italy. An Italian valve. One's on spaghetti and pasta sauce, huh? Yeah, anyway, but it's been a good unit. One of these broke one time. There's a little, I don't know, it's almost like a little rocker arm in here. One of them broke, but it's pretty easy to fix. It broke and it stuck it on rotate. It keep rotating, it wouldn't stop. But that wasn't a terribly technical thing. Josh had the part. So I've got another one of these valves over here. I don't know if it's exactly the same valve. I think it's a smaller CFM, smaller gallons per minute. I don't know. But I'm going to use this one to it might be the same, I don't know. I'm going to use this one to put a grapple on Kimmy when I get it going, so I can use it for a loader. I think it's the same thing. I don't know. That's 4-spool too. Yeah, not sure. Oh yeah, there's your in and outs right there. That might be, no, that looks like still a 16. It's almost the same thing. For some reason it looks smaller in stature. Maybe not. I think that might be one out of a lower, one of like a 20 saw or something. It'll work good for a grapple. So I'm gonna mount that up on Kimmy and put a grapple on it for now, so I can use it for whatever. Till one day I'll find another dangle saw when I can afford it. So other things going on. We pulled the crank out of this block the other day, sent it out to have it turned. I got the head off. Well, I had a head in the office. It was still good. So Slimmick's going to rebuild the head. So then next project here, I got to tear this engine down and rebuild it. It's a 6068. I got to rebuild this and put it in my hood. I think I'm going to do I don't know whether it started so bad because it just wore out, or if I got a fuel issue. I probably should put a reman pump on that. If anybody's got one of them pumps for sale, let me know. And I'm going to put a turbo on it, because the turbo, as far as I know, was never replaced. I don't think it ever was, because I had that machine. It was pretty much brand new when I got it. I don't think anybody ever put a turbo on it, so I'm going to put a turbo on it. I found one, Friday Parts. I don't know. I got to get the engine number off of this too. But I found one on Friday Parts for like 430 bucks. I don't know if that, I mean, that sounds cheap. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, anybody's got a good turbo for that, or a good fuel pump for it, I'm interested, you know. Give me a ringle-dingle or send me a message on this thing. So you guys probably know my phone number is area code 814-229-3038. And you too can chat with the Fat Man. So that's my next thing. I got to pull. I was going to start pulling apart this morning, but I ain't got time now. So I'll do that tomorrow. I'm not working tomorrow, so I got to go get tires on my pickup truck. They're about down to skivvy, and come in and pull that engine down as far as I can, get whatever I can get done. I got to devise some kind of a thing to hold it, like this. I don't think this one's stout enough. I got the JCB engine on that one, the Perkins engine. I'm going to devise something like that so I can hold that engine up and rotisserate it. I was thinking about taking an old, like a spindle, wheel bearing spindle, and rigging it up so it turn easy. Because that thing turns hard even with that little block on it. So I don't think that's capable of holding this big fat thing. So I got to devise something like that. I'm going to mess around with that stuff tomorrow. Maybe I'll make a vid. Alright, well, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Peace, love. Pray for this old world. It's crazy what's going on. But anyway, we still have a lot to be thankful for. Our families, loved ones, all that. Business is business, man. It's cruel. Alright, ta-ta, y'all. Thanks for subbing and liking and all that stuff. Have a good one.